Hello, everyone, and welcome to Reel Me In, a movie podcast, where you didn't really ask for it, but hey, I'm going to give it to you anyways. This is a podcast where I talk about anything, everything, and, well, anything about movies. I'm your host, Chase Lee, and this week I didn't really see any movies, so I apologize. Nothing really tickled my fancy, nothing maybe really wanted to get out of my house and go watch anything, so there's a bunch of news and rumors that broke this week, and so I'm just going to break everything down for you and tell you my thoughts on it. And like I said, some of these are rumors, so take it with a grain of salt. I'm just going to give you my opinion on such stories. As you can tell from the title of the episode, I will be talking about Spider-Man maybe being in the Avengers, and Iron 4 is actually Iron Man 4, and what Robert Downey Jr. has spilled the beans on while he was promoting The Judge. Okay, well, first off, before we start, I'd like to say that we are sponsored for this episode of Real Me and Clone, a movie podcast by CobraCoins.com. It is our sponsor for the day. They specialize in creating fully customized coins for any occasion. If you create something unique that no one else has in their coin collection, like you can call your own and you can show off and tell all your friends about it and make them go cry in a corner somewhere. These coins are collected by video gamers and movie buffs everywhere. Like, seriously, like, It's a really good website, guys. Like, if you want anything customized to any coin, say you want like a Star Wars one, like a Marvel one, or a quote of your favorite movie line with a picture of the movie on the front or something, they can do that. Just ask. It's a trusted website, and it's trusted by many police departments around the nation, not to mention the U.S. Coast Guard, the Air Force, and even your neighborhood-friendly Walmart. You can create your customized coin today at CobraCoins.com and receive a 10% off discount by mentioning my name, Chase Lee. So that is it, guys. CobraCoins.com, cold-blooded prices. It's a good website, guys. Check it out. So I don't even know where to begin. I honestly don't know where to begin. First of all, it's probably going to be a short episode just because I'm going to be talking about news and that's it. So I guess let's get started. Let's start with the trailers that dropped. And I picked 3 of them. One looks really good. One looks okay. And one looks like pure dog shit. Can you guess which one? Well, actually you can't because I haven't told you them. Okay, I'm going to start with the good one. The good one. Tomorrowland. This trailer dropped I want to say 3 days ago. And it's directed by Brad Bird, who directed The Incredibles. He also directed Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol. And it stars George Clooney, Hugh Laurie. And it's been a tightly wrapped Disney project for God knows how long. And no one really knew anything about it except for the fact that it's based on a ride done by Disney. And so no one... It's like walking into... a haunted house for the first time. You have no idea what the hell's going to pop around the corner. It's the same way with this trailer and this movie, but the trailer dropped, and I gotta say, it looks fantastic. It looks like it's just one of those movies that it's going to be like a pure fantasy movie, and you're going to have fun watching it, and it's going to take you to this different world, and you're going to feel like you're watching a movie, like just a good old-fashioned movie experience. It didn't really give us much, as it should. It doesn't even come out until next year. But, it shows, like, this girl getting out of juvie or whatever, and she finds this coin, she picks it up, and she's instantly transported to another location. And she drops the coin, she goes back to the jail cell or whatever, and then she picks up the coin again, she goes back to another world, and so it looks like this coin's going to give her magic powers to basically mask a different world around her, which I think is a very cool concept and a very cool idea. And it looks gorgeous, the special effects look great, and it only showed like a really brief snippet at the very, very end of what the trailer's going to look, or the movie's going to look like, and it looks really cool. It looks very futuristic, very Tomorrowland-ish, the future. So that trailer looked very, very cool, and I can't wait to see that. The one that was okay / it could have potential is Focus, and this is the Will Smith movie. Also stars Margot Robbie of Wall Street fame, from Wolf of Wall Street. And I think you guys know which character she is. It's the very first movie that she does, and she shows her full body. Yeah, that's a good way to get attention. But it's not just because she was nude in that movie. It's Wolf of Wall Street was one of my favorite movies of last year, and she was great in it. So, but I just so happened to remember her from that scene in particular. But Focus is basically, Will Smith. It's like I don't know. It's like a double crossing movie. Like him and Margot Robbie are like doing stuff, and like I'll guarantee you, she double crosses him, he double crosses her, or whatever. It looks okay. It could have potential because I like Will Smith when he acts. I like when he actually tries and he's not like some egotistical douche that's just like, I want $50 million for a movie and I'm a big movie star. No, you're not, Will. You're a big movie star like in 1993. Times have changed. But Focus, I mean, it looks okay. I'll give it a shot because I like Margot Robbie. I would like to see more from her. I think Wolf of Wall Street's a fantastic debut to your film career. But it's just, yeah, okay. Because I like The Pursuit of Happiness. I never saw 7 Pounds, but I heard it was pretty good. But I like Will Smith when he does like dramatic stuff and like thrillers and action and stuff. I like when he does that. I don't like when he does like franchise stuff like Men in Black 3. I didn't really care for that. So Focus, check it out, I guess. The last one is the shitty one, the one that looks like someone literally lifted their anus over my face and like just went to town. It's called Stretch, and it stars Patrick Wilson, Chris Pine, Ed Helms, and a bunch of other people. And what I could gather from the trailer, like there was 2 trailers that dropped this week. One was like the traditional like green band trailers just to get people interested, I guess. And then the second one was basically like joking on itself, like it was in on its own joke, like, this movie's got tits and it's got F-bombs and explosions, like, you're gonna love it or you're fucking stupid. Like that was literally the trailer. I think it literally said that. From what I can gather, like Patrick Wilson plays this limo driver, and then he picks up this rich bum-looking dude played by Chris Pine. He asked Patrick Wilson to do a job for him so he can receive some money, and Patrick Wilson's got to pay off some bookies. Sounds like a pretty crazy idea. I actually wanted to see it. I thought it looked or sounded kind of cool. But when you watch the trailer, what are they doing? Like, do they know that like they spent time doing that movie? Like, it looks like shit. All the jokes are forced. All the F words are forced. Like all the raunchy stuff. It looked like it's a forced movie trying to be super entertaining and funny, but it's not really. Check it out online. It's called Stretch. Like I said, there's 2 versions of the trailer. One version is like, setting up the tone for the movie, and then the second one is like, it's making fun of itself. I don't know. Go check it out and go waste 2 minutes of your life on YouTube. Not like that's a huge difference from what you usually do on YouTube anyways, but I mean, I guess. So what do you guys think about the trailers that I mentioned? Comment in the place below my voice and let me know. Alright guys, moving on to the news section, which is going to be the bulk of this whole entire podcast because there is a crap ton of news that came out. I'm going to start with this one. This is a confirmed story, and this is not a rumor. The first confirmed casting in Quentin Tarantino's The Hateful Eight is Jennifer Jason Leigh, who is going to play Daisy, which is the person or the only female character in the movie. And I think she's at the saloon when the main characters get there, because the whole thing is basically these 2 guys go to the saloon and like their stagecoach breaks down and like they're stuck in the saloon for like a fortnight or whatever, and like everyone gets to know each other. It's like Reservoir Dogs almost, except set in Western times. But she's going to play Daisy, and I'm okay with this. Because here's the thing. I love Tarantino movies, and I think his movies are damn entertaining, and they're like just extremely engaging. And so when you add anyone to his movies, I'm extremely interested because I want to know what they did in the audition process where Quentin was like, yeah, she's our girl. So, I mean, I haven't really seen Jennifer Jason Leigh in much. Like, she was big in the 90s, and she was in a lot of those, like, horror movies and romantic comedies, but, like, like I said, I'll give it a shot because, like, I trust Quentin at this point. I think anyone that he casts is fantastic. So, like I said, she must have done something in the casting process to where, like, Quentin was, like, popping a huge boner for her and was like, oh, that sounded wrong, but you know what I mean, like, boner, like, movie-wise, like, oh, man, she's a perfect character. So I'm actually okay with this. I want to see what she got. I did not know that I was going to resort to ghetto language, but then again, you guys know I'm not really fantastic at grammar. So, all right. Anyways, the next piece of news that is confirmed is that Leah Seydoux, she's French. Her last name is Seydous, so I'm assuming it's Seydoux. Leah Seydoux. She is going to be the Bond girl in the new James Bond movie. That's going to be directed by Sam Mendes again, who also did Skyfall. It's got Daniel Craig coming back, so I'm okay with this. I think she's a good looking woman. She was one of the chicks, and she was the chick with blue hair, and the Blue is the Warmest Color movie. It came out last year, which I really enjoyed, where it's about a relationship and love story about two lesbians. She was fantastic in that, so I would actually want to see her in like a more American movie. But the thing about like James Bond is like you don't have to be like a top tier actor to be in those movies. Like you just have to be at least decent. Like so, she doesn't have to really bring her chops, her acting chops, but like I'm sure she will. And I'm sure she'll add some flavor to a Bond girl character. So I'm actually excited to see her in that and see what she does, because I like The Blue is the Warmest Color, and I think it's on Netflix right now if you guys want to check that out. It is 3 hours long, and it is a long lesbian story, but, you know, I thought it was pretty good. So, Leah Seydoux, I am extremely white and American, so I probably mispronounced that, but forgive me. All right, another piece of directing news that is confirmed is that Ghostbusters is going to be, it's going to be like a reboot. It's not going to be Ghostbusters 3. It's going to be like a reboot, like a restart to the whole franchise. And it's going to be directed by Paul Feig, or Paul Feig, whatever. I've never learned how to pronounce his name. He's the director behind Bridesmaids and The Heat. And this new Ghostbusters is going to have an all-female cast. Now, a lot of people are up in arms about this. Why? Like, who cares if it's an all-female cast versus an all-male cast like it was in the first two? Listen, Paul Feig, or whatever, Paul Feig, I'm going to call him Feig. Paul Feig is very good at directing all females. Look at Bridesmaids. That had like 5-6 characters in it, and it was a good movie. I'm not going to say it was one of the best comedies of all time, because it's not, but it's a very good movie. The Heat, I actually like The Heat a lot, and Sandra Bullock and Melissa McCarthy, they did a fantastic job, and they had great chemistry. So he's really good at delivering an all-female driven movie. And I think with Ghostbusters, I think it's the only way to work. Because Dan Aykroyd has been wanting to get Ghostbusters 3 for like the longest time. But Bill Murray doesn't want to do it. Harold Ramis, rest in peace, he passed away, what was it, last year or 2012? I can't remember. But, he's gone. So Dan Aykroyd's like the only one. I don't even know where the other guy's at. He's probably got an ice cream truck somewhere on like the Boondocks. But like, Dan Aykroyd's been wanting to get this for a long time, but you can't get the original cast back. So you're going to have to reboot and restart it with new, fresh people. So I think the approach they're going to go with is an all-female, and I'm okay with it. I don't have a problem with it. Like, as long as it's entertaining, because let's face it, Ghostbusters is not like an Oscar-caliber movie. It's not. It is an entertaining movie. As long as they make it entertaining, I don't care. What they said was, what they're going to do for the Ghostbusters reboot or whatever is they're going to make it like straight up horror and mixed with comedy. So they're going to try to do like a perfect blend of horror comedy, but like make it like extremely scary and extremely funny, which is it's really hard to do. So I give them props for that. They actually complete it. So all female cast on Ghostbusters, I'm okay with. I don't have a problem with it. I don't know why people do. So cool, go for that. All right. The next 3 stories are, in fact, rumors / not fucking true. Okay, I'm going to start with the not fucking true. Okay, so Robert Downey Jr. is on promotional tour right now, or he was, doing his promotional work for The Judge. His love child, his third child with his wife, that he and his wife produced. So he's on Ellen, and Ellen's like, is there going to be an Iron Man 4? And he said, I would only make an Iron Man 4 if Mel Gibson directed it, or something like that. Something to that extent. Every fucking headline ran with that. Why on earth would you think this is true? Have you seen Robert Downey Jr. in real life? Or at least on interviews? He's exactly like Tony Stark, which means he's going to have sarcasm flying out of his butthole at every single moment in time. Okay? When he said that, he meant it as a joke. Like, seriously, a joke. Even in the tone of his voice, like, yeah, I do it. I don't know, Mel Gibson directed it. Why would you take that as, like pure source? You're dumb, okay? You're fucking dumb if you really think that he said he would do Iron Man 4 if Mel Gibson directed it. Just think about that, okay? Just think about that. Really? Mel fucking Gibson. The person that hates Jewish people, do you really think Disney will let him direct a movie? Let's think about that. So that's a dumb story. Going off of the Iron Man 4 news, this was actually, I think, a slip-up. I think this was a slight slip-up that Robert Downey Jr. could not control, and it just kind of fell out of his mouth, and he retracted it, on the next talk show. But he was also asked if, there was an Iron Man 4 coming. And he was like, yeah. So, because, the previous, statements before, he was like, we don't really have plans to do an Iron Man 4, or at least Marvel doesn't, so I really don't know. And, Ellen asked, so there's going to be an Iron Man 4. And he's like, yeah. I think what that was a slip-up. I think there might be plans for an Iron Man 4. There's none right now, but in the future, I think it is, because, it's the highest, grossing brand that Marvel has right now, and so it'd be stupid not to do Iron Man 4, but I think you have to do in a completely different direction, because Iron Man 3 kind of wraps things up. So I don't think they have an Iron Man 4 plan right now. I think he just accidentally said something, just kind of goof around and just kind of agree with her, yeah, sure, kind of like that. So, but when he was on Letterman or whatever talk show it was, he basically said that because Letterman asked is there Iron Man 4, and he's like, oh no, we don't have any plans for that. So what happened was there's an Iron Man 4 probably being planned for Phase 4. And Kevin Feige probably called Downey after the first interview. He's like, dude, what are you doing? Shut up. Shut your mouth, Robert. You're not supposed to be spilling this stuff right now. So I think Iron Man 4 is coming, but it probably won't be for a very long time. But, Kevin Feige doesn't want us to know anything about Marvel because they got everything, under lock and key, super tight over there. No one knows anything, which is good. I don't want to know anything. So I think Iron Man 4 is coming, but, it's not anytime soon. Will Robert Downey Jr. come back? Who knows? Because he may not appear in Avengers 3. They may save his last contract obligation to Iron Man 4 instead of Avengers 3. So I don't know. It is very interesting, but we'll find out. All right. These next two are extremely heavy rumors, so take these with a grain of salt. But this is just what's going around and stuff, and I believe it. Well, to some extent. So let's break this down. Sorry, I keep burping. I don't know what's going on. So the first thing, this is the biggest story I've seen all week on comic book news and whatnot. So as you guys know, Amazing Spider-Man 2 kind of in trouble. Yeah, it made $700 million worldwide, but when you factor in the production budget and the marketing stuff, it didn't make as much profit as Sony wanted it to make. So they halted plans for Spider-Man 3, and they halted plans for Sinister Six and the Venom movie and all these other spin-off movies and whatnot, so they can create their own universe. So what they're saying is Sony and Marvel might have been talking to maybe land Spider-Man in an Avengers movie. Interesting. And like I said, I'll keep saying this. These are rumors. Probably not even true. But if they are, this is big. And we can speculate. That's the cool thing about talking movies and speculation. Wow, it's fun. So, Marvel and Sony might have been talking to lend Spider-Man in the Avengers movie. I think this is smart. Now, should Sony give up Spider-Man completely? No. Should Marvel buy Spider-Man from Sony? No. And I've always said that. I think Marvel should just not touch X-Men or Spider-Man and stuff. I think 20th Century Fox is doing a kick-ass job at their X-Men universe now. They kind of resurged it from Days of Future Past, and I can't wait to see what they do after that with Apocalypse. And Fantastic Four, I have hopes for the reboot. But Sony they've been like a hit and miss for the Spider-Man films, and so I'm really worried that they're not going to do well. Because a lot of people did not like Spider-Man 2, Amazing Spider-Man 2. I thought it was okay. There were moments of it and there were parts of it that I really enjoyed, but then there were some that were so cheesy and so cartoonish, I just did not fucking care for. So, if these rumors are true, grain of salt, ladies and gentlemen, if they are true, I think this is a great idea. I think if I was Sony, I would just suck it up and lend Spider-Man in Avengers for a couple scenes. I'm not even talking about like a major role. I'm talking like no more than 10 minutes. Maybe even less than that. Because what Sony needs to do right now, Sony, if you ever listen to this, if you ever have like a gun to your head and like someone says like, listen to this really nasty and bad podcast, and you listen to this, then here's what I'm going to tell you. Lend Spider-Man in an Avengers movie as like a cameo. Not a major role, just a cameo. Come up with a deal with Marvel so you can do that, so you can kind of like put people's faith and trust back in Spider-Man again. Because let's face it, Sony, you have no idea what the fuck you're doing. Okay? The first Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire was good. This Spider-Man 2, I thought was pretty good. Spider-Man 3 was, a poop stick on a warm sunny day. The Amazing Spider-Man I actually really liked. Amazing Spider-Man 2, huge step down from the first one. You put Spider-Man in an Avengers film just as like a small cameo, like I said, I think what it will do to audiences is that they'll go, oh, okay, like, man, Spider-Man was really cool. It's like, I want to see, like, where the story goes from there and stuff. Like, I think it'll just kind of put the trust back in the people of the Amazing Spider-Man in that universe. And what concerns me is there was also a rumor that was floating around that since Spider-Man 2 was received so poorly that Sony is thinking about doing a soft reboot almost and doing this again, like trying a third time, like kind of going a different direction, getting another Spider-Man. It's just, like I said, it's a whole fucking mess over there. Sony, get your act together, get your head out of the fucking ground and get it out of your fucking asses and like, just please get your universe back in control. I like Spider-Man. I want to see his films. But if you keep making, each film is downgraded from the previous one, it's not going to work. So I think lending Spider-Man in an Avengers film for a small cameo with no more than 10 minutes would be a fantastic idea on Sony's part. Sony, get your act together. Strike a deal with Marvel, because Marvel cannot fail right now. Look at Guardians of the Galaxy, #1 movie in the country for this year. Ridiculous. So you should probably trust in Marvel and at least give them a shot. Give Spider-Man in an Avengers film for like a cameo. Just know that Spider-Man's there and just take him out. That's it. That's what I gotta do. You don't have to lend him. You don't have to sell him. Just hold main point of the story. Get your fucking act together, Sony. I don't want to talk about you again. Alright. So the final piece of news is also a rumor. And this comes from Meet the Press podcast, which I listen to from the Schmoes Know Network. So I watched the previous episode, and this news was dropped. And this is from El Miembe of Latino Review, and he was on the show, and he dropped this story of who's going to be the villain in Justice League, the movie. And he's he basically said it with a grain of salt. He was like, I've heard this and this and this, and I believe what Batman v Superman is going to set up at the end of the movie is the villain for Justice League, which I think is pretty cool. So, as we all know, the villain in Batman v Superman, as of right now, is Lex Luthor, unless they, make him just like a smaller character and they have another villain. Probably not the case, but, So, Who's the villain in Justice League of America? Supposedly, it's Brainiac. Now, I don't know much about this villain, but what I can tell you is that Brainiac is like I've gone over like basically the Cliff Notes version of this character, and from what I can tell, he is a very strong, mentally capacitated like opponent, like a Lex Luthor almost, except he's like not really stronger. Well, kind of like he's basically a more fucked up version of Lex Luthor, and I would be okay with that. I think that you should make Brainiac, or if he is the villain, the first villain in the Justice League. Because here's the thing. Darkseid is exactly like Thanos from Marvel. Darkseid in DC is like the biggest badass of them all. He is the guy that will tear your shit up. So, they're going to use him for the later Justice League, which is what you should do. You should follow Marvel in that footstep because you need to have your big baddie at the very, very end instead of exposing him in the very first. So having a smaller one like Brainiac, and then maybe the next one you could do Doomsday, and then after that you could do Darkseid to wrap up the trilogy or whatever. But I think this is a pretty good piece of news. Like I said, I have not read any of the comics with Brainiac, but what I can tell you from the way he looks, and like there's just like the outskirts of his details, he's like a fucked up version of Lex Luthor. And from what I can tell, he's one of the more popular villains. So I'm looking forward to it. Hell, why not? Introduce original character that we have not seen. Because if you think about it, in the Batman movies, they introduced the Joker and the Penguin. Christopher Nolan's Scarecrow, Joker. It's always like the Joker or like someone more famous. Brainiac is not as famous as any other. Well, he is famous in the comics, but not in the film world. And so introducing someone that's new, essentially, is awesome. So I'm okay with that. Yeah, that's actually a really good piece of news. So there you go. Guys, for all the news, rumors, and definitely not true shit, that's a huge news section, guys. I'm pretty much wiped out because that's a lot of stuff. I'm not gonna lie, there's a lot of stuff, man. So, have you heard of any of this news, or what do you think about all this stuff? Comment in that place right below my voice and let me know. All right. So since I didn't see a movie this week, I figured I'd just pick a couple of horror recommendations. Yeah, I sound like I said horror. I understand. Horror recommendations from Netflix since it is October. So I figured I'd throw some recommendations out there if you guys have not seen these. The two I picked out, one I grew up with and I saw a bunch as a kid, and one I recently have come across, and I love the sequel and I cannot wait for the third one. So the first one is Scream. If you guys have not seen Scream, it is a fantastic parody on slasher films and like horror movies in general. I really like it. It's really clever. I can't say any more good things about it. It's funny at times. It's kind of creepy at times. It's kind of scary. It's just a really good like parody on the slasher movies of the 80s, like the Michael Myers and the Freddy Kruegers and the Jason Voorhees. So if you guys have not seen Scream, or if you heard a lot about it and you're very curious, trust me, I recommend it. Like, it's a good one. The next one on Netflix that I recommend is VHS. This is the anthropology. Anthropology, is that it? Anthropology? I forgot. Like, okay. It's basically like a horror movie. Like, it's 5 short horror stories wrapped inside of a larger story. So, like, it's a bunch of kids that try to search for, like, the creepiest VHS ever created. And they go to this house and they see, like, a bunch of them. So they start playing them. And each time they play one, we see one of the short stories or whatever. It's really entertaining. And some of those stories are really, really creepy. And some of them are okay, but, like, for the most part, I love the first one. And I also like the sequel. I thought some of the stories were, like I said, super creepy and very well done for the low budget that they had. And there's a third one coming out, VHS Viral. It comes out this year, so I'm looking forward to that. So those are the ones I recommend, guys, on Netflix for horror month of October. Scream and VHS. There's a bunch of others on there, and I might recommend a couple others next week, but those are the ones I recommend right now. So let's break it into the box office results, ladies and gentlemen, for the weekend. At number 5, we have The Judge. Interesting. It got $13 million this weekend, and its budget is $50, so got a long way to go. Sorry, Robert Downey Jr. I guess all that press that he went to literally every fucking city, and he only got $13 million out of all that promotion and stuff. Sorry. Number 4 is Annabelle with $16.3 million. Its worldwide haul is at 85, domestic is 62. Its budget is $6 million. That was its budget. It's made some serious bank, and just like The Conjuring and just like Insidious, these movies make a shit ton of money because they make them for so damn cheap. They get a lot of money, so that's why we saw in the Annabelle movies, because The Conjuring did well. So now that Annabelle did well, we'll probably see some other spin-off or whatever after Conjuring 2, so good job. Number 3 is Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day, and it got $19 million domestic. Its budget is 28, so it needs about 56 to break even. I don't know. It might get its money back. Okay. Number 2 is Dracula Untold. And I guess no one told people to see it. So, Dracula Untold. No one told anyone to see it. Anyways, number 2 at $23.4 million domestic. Worldwide, it's at 44. And its production budget was 70. Yikes. It needs to make freaking $140 million to break even. Supposedly, this is the movie that's supposed to kind of introduce the rebooted monster universe from Universal. Sorry. With a rating 23% and your box office returns, you better rethink your fucking plan for that universe because it ain't working. Number 1, proud to say it, it's Gone Girl with $26 million. Its domestic haul right now is at 78. Worldwide, it's at 102 with a production budget of 61. So you're looking at $122 million to break even. It's only got $20 million to go to break even. And with the word of mouth and all the positive vibes from it, I think it'll definitely make some money back, and it'll be one of the most profitable David Fincher movies, which I think he totally deserves because this movie is awesome and David Fincher is awesome. So if you have not seen Gone Girl, please add to its box office revenue because it is fan-fucking-tastic. All right, guys, that will do it for the box office results for the weekend, and that will also do it for the show this week. Yeah, it's just a heavy news day, guys. Hopefully next week I will see a movie. If not, you'll get another news day. I might pick a movie off of Netflix or a foreign movie. I'll review something. Actually, I think I know what I will review, but I'll surprise you guys next week. So, guys, I want to thank you for listening once again to Real Me and Colin, a movie podcast. You guys keep me going every day, so I love every single one of you. Spread this podcast around like a disease and post it on people's walls and tell people to start listening to it and just warn them that their ears might bleed a little bit, but it's okay. We're all friends here. So I want to thank my sponsor today, CobraCoins.com. Check them out. If you guys want to follow me on Spreaker here, it's just click that follow button. You get up-to-dates on when I go live and when I post everything. I'm also on iHeartRadio, so you can find me there too. If you guys want to follow me on Twitter to also get updates on live shows, and I post random shit all week, it's at Real Chase Lee, REEL, Chase Lee, all one word. If you guys want to subscribe to my YouTube page to watch all movie reviews, podcasts, web series, short films, I got a bunch of shit on there. You guys will probably occupy yourselves for a few hours. It's youtube.com/Shabutnik75, capital S, lowercase HABOOTNIK 75. If you guys want to like the Facebook page where I post all the podcast movie reviews all that jazz. It's facebook.com/Real Reviews with Chase Lee. And I believe that is all the social media for today. I want to thank you guys for listening one more time. You guys are awesome. Next week, I will have another show like usual. What will I talk about? Who knows? Whatever news breaks, whatever trailers are up, and whatever movie I see, I will talk about. So I will see you guys next week for another episode of Reel Me In, a movie podcast. I'm Chase Lee. You guys have a good day, good night, good whenever you're listening to this. If you listen to it on the toilet, it's okay, guys. I forgive you. Just don't tell me about it. Or tell me about it. Tweet me that you take a dump while listening to this, and I'll give you a shout out. But just okay. It's just I will forgive you if you do it. I won't be too mad. Okay, I'll see you guys later.